Signal number 1 is now up over several areas in Cagayan and Isabela due to Super Typhoon Betty. President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte graced the inauguration of Pier 88 in Cebu. And industry projections indicate an increase in the prices of gasoline products next week. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin the newscast with local governments gearing up for the possible onslaught of Super Typhoon Betty. In Ilocos Norte, response teams are now on high alert status. Let's get more updates. We have with us this afternoon Jenny Dongon. She's reporting to us live from Pawai. Hi Jenny, can you tell us the latest?
Riza, Ilocos Norte continues to experience generally fair weather since this morning. Authorities, however, are warning residents and even tourists against complacency. Direct effects of Super Typhoon Betty are forecast to be felt in Ilocos Norte starting tomorrow. Response teams in the province have been alerted while food packs have been pre-positioned. The Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office said evacuation centers and animal shelters are also ready. In flood and landslide-prone areas, over 100 police personnel are on standby for deployment. They are expected to cover the towns of Adams, Pagudpod, Bangi, Burgos, and Pasukin. Also included are Bacara and Pawai, and even Loag City, which serves as the catch basin of nearby towns. Meanwhile, all fishermen in the province had been barred from sailing because of the super typhoon. Riza, as I've said earlier, weather here in Pawai City is generally fair, so tourists continue to flock here in famous Pawai Church, and local officers or officials are also reminding residents and even tourists to follow instruction in case they have to be evacuated. Riza.
Thank you. That was Jenny Dongon reporting to us live from Pawai, Ilocos Norte. Meanwhile, other provinces in northern Luzon are also bracing for the impact of Super Typhoon Betty. The Provincial Disaster and Risk Reduction Management Office in Cagayan has identified 11 municipalities that will be most likely affected by Betty. A red alert status has also been raised as the super typhoon is expected to bring torrential rains over Cagayan. Classes in all levels have been suspended in the entire province as well. In Benguet, farmers are on the move to protect their crops, which are already up for harvest next week. Some use heavy-duty plastic to protect strawberries from heavy rain. Now, the Office of Civil Defense in Cordillera has also raised the blue alert status over the region. Meanwhile, the PDRRMO of Isabela sees no need to release water from Magat Dam. This as the water in the dam is still within the normal level of 193 meters. Super Typhoon Betty maintains its strength while moving west-northwestward. Betty's center was last spotted some 1,170 kilometers east of central Luzon. The super typhoon is packing wind speeds of up to 195 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 240 kilometers per hour. Pagasa expects Betty to track generally west-northwestward. It is also expected to maintain its strength for the next 36 to 48 hours, but short-term intensification is not being ruled out. Betty is forecast to weaken considerably on Monday or Tuesday over the waters east of Batanes. The Weather Bureau has raised tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 over some parts of Cagayan and Isabela. Meanwhile, monsoon rains are expected to prevail over the western sections of Mimaropa, Visayas, and Mindanao until tomorrow. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. President Bongbong Marcos leads the inauguration of Pier 88 in Liloan, Cebu. Also in attendance are Vice President and Education Chief Sara Duterte and House Speaker Martin Romualdez. In a speech during the event, Marcos Jr. said the port holds promise to become a local economic hub. The 3-hectare port is expected to provide a faster alternative to the riding public in the province. Pier 88 will also incorporate a smart port system which features an automated ticketing system, the first of its kind in Cebu. President Marcos Jr. unveils plans to acquire the country's first submarine during the Navy's 125th anniversary celebration. Maricel Halili with the details.
President Bongbong Marcos led the celebration of the 125th anniversary of the Philippine Navy at its headquarters in Manila. But before that, the Navy presented its newly commissioned Navy gunboats to the President. Marcos says these will be used not only for maritime monitoring but also for disaster response.
Kagaya ngayon, ang aming pinag-uusapan at pinaghahandaan ay yung bagyo. And of course, our armed forces plays always a very important part when it comes to search and rescue, pati sa pagdala ng relief.
In his speech, Marcos emphasized that these vessels are a step towards the completion of the Armed Forces Modernization Program.
Will pave the way for the holistic transformation of our AFP into a stronger, modern, and formidable organization. By then, the AFP will be more effective in its military aims and more responsive to our national goals.
Along with this, the chief executive also bared the government's plan to acquire the Philippines' first submarine. However, it will not be done anytime soon.
We are in the middle of developing mostly our anti-submarine capabilities. So yun ang uunahin natin, and then hopefully when the time comes and the conditions are agreeable, then we might be able to acquire those submarines.
Marcos recognized the Navy's role in securing the archipelago, particularly Batanes and Kalayaan Islands, the Philippine Rise, and the West Philippine Sea. Recently, the Philippine Coast Guard installed additional navigational buoys in critical areas of the disputed areas. This was done in a bid to mark the country's territory. National Security Advisor Eduardo Año explained that this was not meant to provoke other claimants, but rather to protect the Philippines' maritime borders. A few days after that, though, China also sent its buoy vessel to the area. With this, Año says they will coordinate with the Foreign Affairs Department to determine what steps to take following this move by China.
We will avoid any physical confrontation. We will not escalate the tension. We will always be adhering to the rule of law. So, yung ginagawa nila ay constantly minomonitor natin.
For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
Motorists can expect an adjustment on the prices of fuel products next week. Unioil Philippines projects that prices of gasoline would increase by up to 1 peso and 20 centavos per liter. Prices of diesel, meanwhile, are expected to remain the same. And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.